was there, I've continued westward into fulgent, perpetual sun. I've gone so far west I've wound up in the mysterious east. I've landed here at 43, newly emerging from a baffled life, having lost much of what felt familiar, and having experienced through many contested nights and days my own foreignness, the rawness and novelty of a world I scarcely recognize any longer as my own. Perhaps living one season in Japan, the irreducible oddity of it, the dislocation and jet lag, the jeopardy of loneliness, the unreliability of language, of custom, will help me understand some of this. I'm not sure. I live now with few expectations, and certainly without hope. Which is to say, I seem to live increasingly for this very instant, imparadised, abundant, and live in moods of quiet, unreasoning happiness. Perhaps this is good Zen. But it's difficult. Still a novice at practicing Zen, after only 3 years, I relapse often into meanness and mistaken habit. Nor is that all. A novice at my practicing middle age, I seem to totter between mastery and buffoonery, last chance and reformation. I can only guess what my father dreamed for us as he drove through early morning darkness of fading stars, or through a blizzard, or through rain, humming his favorite Kingston Trio songs. On his way to work, he shared lonely stretches of asphalt with an occasional high-balling Mack diesel rig, watching for deer that might step gingerly from pine groves into his headlights on the long straightaways between Lockhaven and Bellefonte. He'd drive into the dawn. He worked as a drafting engineer at the Titan Metal Factory. My dad toted his lunch bucket and drove his gas-reeking Ford clunker 80 miles round trip every day, Monday through Friday, to glean for us paychecks totaling $11,000 a year. We lived in a trailer. Our trailer sat among other trailers at the edge of scrub woods, off a 2-lane blacktop called Route 220 in Clinton County. My dad and my uncles had survived shell bursts and machine guns in the South Pacific and in lethal fields of Italy. The uncles and buddies, noisy, profane guys with cock-of-the-walk grins, their hair bristle-cut, their shirt sleeves rolled up past their biceps. Men who shadow-punched and hollered at the TV, "Attaboy, jab, jab, God damn it, hit him with your left," when the fights were on. Men who bluffed and wheeler-dealed through 5-card stud in kitchens on Saturday afternoons, smoking Luckies, pouring libations of Carling Black Label while the wives gibbered over coffee cake. They were the first men I knew, guffawing, backslapping. "Give me another one of them goddamn cards there. Okay, boys, read 'em and weep. Now beat that son of a bitch." Most of them worked the pulp tubs and cutters at Hammer Mill in Lockhaven. All-night 11 to 7 shift. You could watch specters of mist hazard the river at sunrise. My mom pinned our wash to the wind, and she planted marigolds. She blared South Pacific and My Fair Lady on the hi-fi. Testament, I realize only now, to unplumbed yearnings. When she was a little girl during the Depression, she lived with her mother and sisters and her besotted stepfather a few miles beyond the outpost of White Pine, on a little husk of a farm alone in the woods. In our trailer, when I was a kid, we watched Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color on a boxy black-and-white TV. We heard hound dogs moaning at the Penn Central freight trains that racketed out through the Appalachian Mountains at night, out past the barns with mail pouch tobacco painted on wood long abused by weather, out past the truck farms and junk lots, the neglected bridges of trestled iron, past boneyards, the cow flop